Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a gentleman that has been on my show before. We all fell in love with him and his music, and he's got a special surprise for us, and I am so honored that he's coming on my show to talk about it. Please welcome Kna Lo Venge. Hello, sir.
Hello, Allie's Attic. How are you? How's everyone?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. I'm great.
So,
Feeling good.
I'm going to tell everybody a little bit about you, and then I'm going to let you tell us your news and talk about all the exciting things that are going to be happening for you. Now, you were born and raised in Queens, and
Yes.
you started doing music at the age of 12. Now, what got you into doing music? I mean, was there something specific in your life, or it's just something you always wanted to do?
Wasn't something I consciously wanted to do. It was just something that I did. Me and my friends, we just always sang and rapped and danced and stuff. And it was just something that we just did. We didn't really think about it until other people started talking to us about it. You know, it was, hey, why don't you guys perform here? Or why don't you guys do this talent show? Or, stuff like that. That's when we started really thinking about it and, deciding if this was something we really wanted to do. Getting comfortable in front, performing in front of people and just deciding, how much time we had, how to fill up the time, just things like that. But always admired all of the greats and always, watched all of the videos and tried to emulate all of the stars so yeah, it was just one of those things where it wasn't like a decision or a choice, like, okay, it's either this or that, or trying to make life decisions and stuff like that. It was just something that kind of just
evolved.
Came natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you've won a whole bunch of talent contests citywide for both rapping and dancing when you guys were younger. Now, this is the part I love the best because you have toured and met some of the biggest names in the industry. One of them, actually two of them, maybe a few of them. One of them that really hits my heart because I am so sad still, and I don't know if I'll ever get over it because I was such a huge fan, was Prince. I still can't believe that he's no longer here. Along with Michael Jackson, also you've performed like Wu-Tang Clan, The Time, Jermaine Jackson, Pink, Big Pun, and Ashanti, just to name a few of them. How did the news hit you about Prince? Because your career was already on, going. I mean, Michael Jackson kind of happened probably when you were first getting into stuff, which, I mean, still hit everybody super hard. He was so talented. Prince hit me really hard. How did you feel?
Oh, I was devastated. It was, I felt like a piece of me had been ripped away. It was a shock, but it wasn't a total surprise.
Yeah.
The fact that he died was a surprise, but not the fact that, like, if someone had said, oh, Prince is in the hospital, I would have said, yeah, I kind of suspected that he was kind of going that way. But the fact that he died, and then the way that he died by himself in an elevator in Paisley Park was just, like, tragic. It was just like the end. It was sort of like the culmination of his life.
Yeah.
Because he always sang about being lonely. He always sang about feeling alone. And he was a very sad person to his core.
Yeah, he was.
And so, it was just like such a sad ending to a sad guy that brought so many people so much joy. I was devastated. I'm still hurt. It's still hard for me to kind of think about it too much. And talking to Jill Jones or Jerome Benton or Andre Simone or anybody else that was really close to him that were, they, you know, because he lived with Andre for the bulk of his youth. And, you know, he lived with Jill Jones, and, you know, Jerome Benton was in all 4 movies with him and toured with him. So, and they're all really, you know, well, Jill and Jerome are very close to me, and Andre, we're starting to really form a friendship now. But, you know, talking to them, it just kind of, you know, telling me stories that happened before I was around, and, you know, before I was even old enough to do anything or be involved or whatever, really just like, you know, just shed so much more light on the dynamic person that he was, and the immense talent
that he had. Yeah.
You know, yeah, and everybody has a different story or a different view of him. Andre Simone and I really got into a deep conversation about him one night after Andre's show in LA a couple of weeks ago. And it really, Prince's brother was there. It was Prince's brother and Andre. And it really gave me more of an insight to the type of person that he was privately, and how it really let me know how much the music was really all he had.
Yeah.
You know, because he died without any children. He died without a wife. He died, you know, really with not much family at all. You know, his parents were already gone. And it just makes it that much more tragic. Just the whole thing is just like, wow, you know, it is really, really sad. And really quick, just with Michael Jackson, you know, I told Jermaine, I'm so sorry, because a lot of people just, you know, they look at Michael and they think whatever they think, or they know whatever they know from the news or whatever, but the story that I tell a lot of times is that when Jermaine was on TV the day Michael passed, you know, people were making Michael Jackson jokes. Yeah. And I was in a room with a bunch of people that were kind of not paying attention and making jokes, and it really upset me. And I kind of just said really loudly, that guy on TV, Jermaine Jackson, just said that he had to call his mother to tell her that her son is dead, and he's on TV trying to explain to the news what happened. And he's doing this still trying to keep a straight face because his little brother just died. His little brother just died.
Yeah.
And you guys are making jokes.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of quieted everyone down, like, oh, wow. You know, like, because they didn't put it in perspective. It's like he had brothers and sisters and parents and children, and, you know, he was a human being. Just because he sang and danced and he was a public figure, it doesn't mean that, you know, he wasn't a real person, you know, and it's tragic. You know, we lost 2 of the biggest stars in history.
Yeah.
And the world is lesser for it, you know.
Yeah.
And the world is a darker, colder place
without them.
You know,
and
because of it.
Yeah,
So,
and I don't think people realize, too, that, you know, sure, their persona on stage and in the media, and I mean, the media always makes more of stuff than it actually is, and I mean, people got to realize that. The news is not always the truth, and it's unfortunate because a lot of people depend on it, but Michael Jackson did have 2 children. He did have a huge family, and he did have a mom and dad, and regardless of, you know, the stories about his family and, you know, whatever, he was still a person. So is Prince. I mean, a lot of people respected him. So you don't hear a lot of people, you know, doing Prince jokes. But the Michael Jackson jokes still continue, and they probably always will. And it makes me sad as well, because he was a person. He wasn't just this person that everybody saw on stage and in the media. Behind the scenes, he was caring. He had, you know, 2 children. And I mean, those children are turning out great. So, I mean, they're not children anymore. They're teenagers. So he's obviously doing a lot of things right, and it was sad. So I understand where you're coming from, especially knowing Jermaine. Hearing you talk about Prince, that was the first movie I ever went to, really, when I was older, in a movie theater to watch Purple Rain, and fell absolutely in love with him. And I still have a hard time when people do tributes for him. I mean, the best one was when The Time did, and a bunch of people did that show. That was awesome. But I still have a hard time listening. Not because they're not doing it justice, just because it hurts me knowing that he's no longer here.
Yeah, and he wasn't in touch with anyone either. Like,
yeah,
he kind of become isolated, and that it just makes it so sad because I asked his brother, did he know how loved he was? Did he know that? Like, if he knew that, that would give, I guess, everyone a little solace. Could take a little solace in the fact, well, at least he knew. But he knew he was a star. He knew he was a rock and roll hero. He knew he was, he was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he knew, that he was good and that people liked him. But I don't think he understood the depth of how personal people feel personal about Prince. Like, people feel, look at him like a family member. One guy said to me that he was crushed when Purple Rain came out because he felt like now he had to share him with the world.
Yeah. That's very a good description because it's true. It's true.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's still hard sometimes, especially like I said, when I speak to people that came up with him and stuff like that, that's when it really hits, really, really hard. And they'll tell you, he was far from perfect. He was not always the nicest person. There was the yin to the yang, but he was very quietly generous. He was very giving and sharing, and he quietly took care of people and gave to charities and stuff like that. So there was a balance. He was a whole person. Unlike Michael Jackson, Prince went through elementary school and junior high school and high school and stuff like that. So he was a little bit different than Michael in that respect because he had to deal with everything that you go through in school.
Yeah.
Getting teased and bullied and,
all
especially being short.
Yeah. Short.
And, a short black kid, in the middle of Minnesota, in the 1970s, trying to play basketball and
yeah, exactly.
And, all that comes with that. So he carried a lot of that with him.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he became a superstar, those memories still bothered him, and he would talk about it sometimes, about being teased and bullied, and which is part of the reason, well, not part of the reason, but part of what drove him to be successful and to be a star. Mm-hmm. was really like to show everybody that that hurt him while he was in school.
Yeah, look at me. I made it. Haha. Screw you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I can't, I still have a hard time with it, and I probably will until I'm no longer on this earth. And you're right about the personal connection, because I think that's why it hit so many people so hard, because people felt like they were, Purple Rain was so personal about his life. So you did get drawn in, and you did, understand him a little bit better. And I think he's one of the best I love Michael Jackson too, don't get me wrong. I clicked with Prince for some reason. And I have a hard time with it. Anyways, let's talk about you, Kna Lo Venge, because I'm starting to get sad now. Okay. So you've performed with all these people and met all these people, and you still are in contact with a lot of people that knew all these people. And that is awesome, because I I think it adds to any kind of artist that is performing if they have known or performed or anything with big names, that they learn a lot from them. And you definitely have, because I think you're amazing. Now, you
Thank you.
released your first solo album called Orgasm, Tears, and Sweat. And that, we've already talked about them, but that did feature Jerome Benton and Jill Jones and the production by SPK. It
Yeah.
also featured the dance hit Off the Wall. And that was like, how did you feel about how well that album was received and how well, like, it was incredible?
Thank you. I always feel blessed. You know, I never take anything for granted, and I'm always so grateful that anybody likes anything that I do because they don't have to.
Yeah.
You know, there's a plethora of artists to choose from, and so anyone that likes my music, I always am sincerely grateful and thankful and appreciative that they even gave me a chance at all. You know, that they even took a chance to listen to my music, and I do still, you know, kind of dig the fact that people listen to my music and they go, oh wow, I really like this. This is good, you know, and it's funny, but it's also kind of telling about the state of the industry and other artists and stuff that you know what's going on right now, because unfortunately people are kind of reluctant to try or to listen to someone new because there's so much bad music out, you know,
Yeah.
and so many artists that aren't dedicated to their craft, and it's kind of made people not as open to
New
trying
music.
or listening to someone they don't know. So,
Yeah.
you know, it made me feel awesome, and I'm always pleasantly surprised when you know, when someone new hears my music and they contact me, because I respond to everybody against a lot of people's advice on social media and you know stuff. When I see people, I talk to anybody. I talk to everybody. And I've been told several times by marketing people or whatever to kind of put up a wall. I've been told by other celebrities and stuff, you know, well, you're on this side of the fence now, so, you know, you got to kind of, you know, keep a distance or whatever. And I have had some kind of close encounters with a few unstable people. But,
Haven't we all?
yeah, but, you know, for the most part, it's been really pleasant. And I'm not, you know, on a level where I have to worry about, you know, getting my hair pulled or, you know, getting mocked. So, it's still fun right now, you know, and I guess when it's not fun anymore, I'll stop. But right now, I'm still having a ball.
Well, I mean, there are reasons where, you know, big name artists don't interact with their fans as much. I think it's sad. I honestly do. But the state of the world that it is now, you have to be careful. I love the fact that there are artists that will dedicate even just one day to actually be the person responding, not their team, you know, not the person that's in charge of their social media, but actually them. I think it helps artists in a way that maybe some of them don't realize. It makes you real. It makes you appreciate your fans, and it makes your fans appreciate you even more. So that's, I mean, I know there's lots of reasons, and I know there's been some very, very, very unfortunate incidences with public, and that makes me sad because when I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of that. So it makes me sad. Now, your controversial single, Kill Yourself, did really well as I think the last time we were talking, you were working on, was it a second album or just your second single? I can't remember now. I think it was your single.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kill Yourself. The video was well received, and I think it kind of shocked a lot of people. That it wasn't with a lot. I think people were a little shocked because they weren't sure which way I was gonna go. Like they were kind of surprised with the video, and pleasantly surprised. You know, most people, like, when they first heard the title. I mean, I still get it sometimes. People go, "Kill yourself." Oh, that doesn't sound, you know, whatever. Like, you know, I might get some kind of negative response or whatever, just because, you know, there's people like, you know, suicide is really serious, and I'm like, yeah, it is, and I'm not diminishing that at all. That's not what the song is about.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, sometimes, you know, from the title, people are not willing to, you know, listen to it, but the ones that are they dig it. You know, I get it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like this. You know, and
it's not what you think.
You've seen the hashtag. You know, now people, you know, hashtag kill yourself. You know, I've seen people on social media say, yeah, like Kna Lo's song, "Kill Yourself." You know, I'm like, oh wow.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a really positive person, and I'm an upbeat person, and I like to be happy, and I try to make other people happy. And when I meet people that are really negative and that spread negativity, it really bothers me, because, you know, we have enough of that in the world.
Yes.
You know, and if you're going to be negative, stay to yourself. You know, my mother used to tell me all the time, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. You know,
I think all our mothers said that.
yeah, you know.
First heard of you, and you were coming on my show, and I heard this, you know, this single, "Kill Yourself." I was like, wait, hang on a sec. Should I have this guy on my show? And then I listened to it, you know, and people have to take the chance and listen to it and understand it, and understand that it's not telling people to go kill themselves. So anyways, I mean, and the funny part, Kna Lo Venge, is like, when I was growing up, you know, everybody would say if you played Led Zeppelin backwards, it was all like demons, and, you know, people telling you to kill yourself and do all this black magic, and I don't think that is ever going to go away. People are going to come up with all kinds of, you know, weird stories surrounding songs. It's going to be that way probably forever. Excuse me. But I'm glad you had a chance to come on here and talk about it, because, yeah, people do get the wrong idea, and I just want them to know, no. It's not that. So, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I know. I'm saying I write the way I feel, you know, and I don't do anything for shock value or you know, anything for sensationalism. You know, it's honestly the way I feel, you know, at that moment. And it's the same thing with the, I put out an EP, KLV, a few weeks ago. It just has 6 songs on it. And because I signed a new distribution deal, and they really wanted to hurry up and get something out, so I had a few singles out that weren't attached to any album. What Would I Say, dedicated to my mom that passed away. Roller Coaster, featuring Brent Carter, who's the lead singer for the Average White Band. Red Pill, Blue Pill. Link, which is previously unreleased, and a couple of other good songs. So I put that out a few weeks ago while I was working on the full album, Scope, which is the new album that's coming out, which will be my last hip hop album.
Yes, and explain to everybody. Now, this is Kna Lo Venge's surprise. I can't even tell you how it felt to me when you asked me if you could come on and talk about this. Because it's an honor that you're coming on. I'm sure you're going on a whole bunch of shows, but just by asking if you could come on my show and do this was just a huge honor, and thank you. So, tell people what your big surprise is, because it's huge.
Well, I'm putting out my last hip hop album, Scope, and I'm switching genres to pop, dream pop, and I'm walking away from hip hop. I feel like hip hop kind of left me, and it's unfortunate, because I love hip hop and I grew up. That was my music growing up, and that was what what got me into the industry and everything. And yeah, unfortunately, even from the beginning, people urged me to sing and dance and do pop music or at least R&B, and I kind of resisted it because my heart was really in hip hop, and even people from Prince's camp and other people, they just, I don't know, for some reason. I mean, the reasons that I got from people were the two main reasons were, oh, you're too handsome to be in hip hop. You're too handsome to be a rapper. Which I was like, oh wow, that's not such a good thing for hip hop.
Yeah, and, good lord. Oh my god.
And the other thing was, people said to me, well, you're too smart. You're too intelligent to be a rapper. You should be singing.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Go on.
I mean, those are the big reasons that I got from people all the time, and it was just weird to me because that wasn't the case. I don't know, 10 years ago. I don't think,
No, and hello, Eminem, Dr. Dre, like hello, like oh my goodness, these people are educated, good looking, and anyways, go on. That is insane.
Well, yeah, and it shocked me that because it was guys saying this to me. It wasn't like it was just like people that weren't. These were other artists. These were men. These were other singers and stuff. And it really made me think. Going into this last album and all of the changes, like you said, Prince passing away. Well, Vanity passed away first.
Yes, I know.
And, and then Prince, and being around all of these people, Apollonia, and everybody. It kind of sad. It was kind of sad because people would ask me, oh, what kind of music do you do? And I say, oh, I do hip hop, dance, and they go hip hop, and I say, yeah, and they're like, you? And then they hear the music and they're like, oh, it's really good, like you're good, but it just doesn't seem like the way you are that you. I guess it's like I guess I'm supposed to be ignorant and crazy and loud and
and rude.
Drunk,
rude in your songs. Yeah, I get you.
And so, even Jill, when me and Jill first met, we met at a restaurant, and it was me, her, and her husband. And after we, finished eating and we were leaving and stuff, she was like, I had a whole different perception of you from your video, because at the time all she knew was Blood Pressure, because that was the single in the video that was out at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, wow, I expected something different with you coming from New York and being a rapper, and you're not what I expected. I'm pleasantly surprised, and all of those things kind of just stuck in the back of my mind. And working with a lot of singers, and sometimes I sing background or fill in certain places here and there on tour or whatever it was. And so people would come back and say, hey, you can sing. Why don't you sing? And I'm like, no, I can't sing, and I don't want to sing. And people say, no, you can sing. Like, you sound good. Like, it's, and I say, yeah, no, I'm going to rap, because it's just where I was comfortable. But I think, again, like I said, with all of the change in my mom passing, and it was just crazy the last couple of years, because my mom passed, a month later my dog passed. He had diabetes, and I watched him suffer, and he passed away. And then, again, like I said, all of the stars back to back, Vanity and David Bowie and Prince, and I was just like, oh my God,
yeah.
And I guess all of that together just made me decide it was time for a change, a huge shift. And so, I'm going for it, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward. Everyone that I'm talking to is excited. Some people are saying, oh, finally. I think that this last album, Scope, I think that it's going to put a period on that chapter,
yes. Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking forward to the new chapter. I'm looking forward to going forward and seeing what what this aspect of the music brings me. I love pop music, and I love where the different places I can go. Where I was kind of confined in hip hop because I did work with so many singers, and I did work with so many pop and R&B and rock artists that it's not a huge jump for me personally, but artistically, it's kind of uncharted territory for me personally because I never really saw myself in that realm or in that in that way. So there's also a lot of visual changes. My dress, the way I dress, hair and makeup, and costume changes, and some kind of adjusting to that too, because it's a whole different world. But I'm excited because it opens up so many doors where kind of being labeled as a rapper kind of pigeonholed me, in one kind of space.
Mm-hmm.
Where doing pop now, it'll open me up to kind of doing more of the stuff that I always wanted to do, like being able to play Disney. Some of the, I love children, so playing some of the children's festivals and charity events and stuff like that. Because I did a couple of events feeding the homeless here in San Diego, and cancer, children with cancer, and stuff like that. I have a soft spot for people that are hurting or dying, and children. It just tears me apart even more because they don't even understand what's going on. They they just got here and something's wrong, and they're not like every other child, and that rips my heart apart. So to be able to go in and maybe sing a lullaby or have them come out to an event where their parents aren't kind of like, wait, a rapper? I'm not going to take my child to see a rap show.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a big part of it too.
Well, I'm very excited to hear you when you have everything produced and all that stuff. I'm very excited to see the YouTube videos more than anything when you have your new music out. And I'm crossing my fingers one day. I think we talked about this when I first talked to you. I want to come and see one of your shows. And I think you're going to do great in pop. I think you did great in hip hop. And to hear why some of the reasons people were telling you that you had to change, it's just kind of mind blowing. But I do think, you do have more of an open genre of music where you can go to the hospitals and play for these children and go to Disneyland, like you said. And it just opens up a lot more avenues than I think hip hop did. So I can understand part of the reasoning, and I think it's great. And I know you're going to do well. Like, you are amazing, Kna Lo Venge. Your voice is amazing. Your presence is amazing. And you're just an amazing person, period. So I wish you all the luck in the world. And I know you're going to do great. And thank you so much for coming and telling everybody on my show, because that's very cool.
Thank you for having me. Honestly.
Anytime. When you start releasing your singles for your pop, come back to me and I'll bring you back on. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm very excited for you.
I'm recording as we speak.
I know you were telling me. I'm like super excited. You have no idea. So what 2 songs are we going to hear from you today?
Baby Love and PTSD.
Yes, those are the 2.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. We can do that. And then I might throw a surprise song in there. We're not going to talk about that. It's going to be a surprise. Shh. So we will.
Now, I can't remember now because there was another song that I know you had mentioned.
Yes, I got, just so everybody knows, Kna Lo Venge sent me the entire album. I got to pick some songs, and like he and I were talking back and forth. So there's actually, whoa, that was your phone?
That was my other phone. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's why I say on the front of my website, all our interviews are raw and uncut. Anyways, We actually ended up with 3 songs. We're going to be playing Baby Love. We are going to be playing PTSD, and we might, I'm hoping, be playing another one. So you're going to have to go on the website and find out. So that's the big surprise. We're not going to tell you which one it is. Now, these 2 songs, possibly 3, are the last ones that we're going to hear basically from hip hop. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that album. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying, these songs, this is going to be the last hip hop album that I do. I mean, I can't predict what will happen in 5 years, but right now, this is it. I'm done.
So I'm urging everybody to go out and purchase this album, these songs, any of his hip hop albums. Because, like he says, you don't know what'll happen in 5 years, but he's changing genres, and you want to be able to hold on to that history because he is a big deal. He's a huge deal. He's talented, and he's going to go far, no matter which genre he's in. But I'm excited about the pop genre, and I can't wait. So go and purchase these songs so you have a bit of Kna Lo Venge before he became pop and was standing on that Grammy stage. So that's all I'm saying.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I'm also going to urge everybody, go to his website. It is knalovenge.com. It's going to be on my website, so you're going to be able to link to it and discover more about Kna Lo Venge. And I'd like subscribe to him on Twitter, any of your social media, because like he says, he does talk to everybody on his social media. And he also announces his surprises on there, like when the single's available or so on and so forth. So you're going to want to know what's going on in his world because it's going to be huge. Kna Lo Venge, thank you so much for coming on here. I haven't had such a good conversation with somebody about Prince in a while, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you sharing this with my audience on my show. And I just appreciate you. And like I said, I wish you the best of luck. I know you're going to do great, and I can't wait.
Thank you, and I appreciate you as well. And God bless you. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprises you'll have in my attic. Cheers.